Welcome, everyone. It is day 7 of this sprint. I think I'm going to call this email x ray breakdown, super x ray breakdown. I don't know. See it in the title, but today's day 7. It's Monday. Today we're going to go over, instead of going over someone else's email, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to see what not to do in an email. So I didn't want to put anyone on the spot. Uh, so I figured I could do it to myself. This is the first welcome email I wrote for a client, and we're going to break it down. We're going to see what works and what doesn't. I wrote this about a year and a half ago, so I'd like to think things have changed since then. So, I think by knowing what not to do, that's going to help you write better emails or, know what to look for when you hire an email copywriter or an email marketer. Like, if they write like this, I mean, probably don't pay them $100 an hour, right? Or whatever it is. So, like, this is more, I'd say, like, more beginner. And this email we're going to break down has like a lot of the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals of copywriting, but you'll see what kind of like weaker writing looks like. So let's break it down. We're going to roast my, my own old writing. So let's do it. All right, here we go. Okay. So I think you guys can see all this, but just in case. All right, you guys should be able to see everything, hopefully. So this is sent to this client who we'll call James. This is through his funnel when someone goes through his lead magnet and requests this free guide. Okay, he's in the wellness industry, so he had a lead magnet already, as far as I remember, but this one in particular, um, I think I probably should have consulted him. This is kind of a really shitty title, but let's break this down from the top though. So the free guide you requested. All right. So this is just a standard lead magnet subject line. I think it's a little too formal, the free guide you requested. I think nowadays it's better to stand out, and even if that means just be a little less formal and get rid of the here, maybe like, here's that free guide, here's your stuff. I don't know, but the free guide you requested sounds very, you don't need to do that. It's email, like, whatever. All right, so subject line could use a little work there. Hey, here's your free guide: the 3 body malfunctions that 92% of Americans don't know about. It's a little too wordy, right? I don't remember if this is exactly what his lead magnet was called, but we'll just break this down: the 3 body malfunctions that 92% of Americans don't know about. Okay, I like that it's specific. 92% of Americans don't know about. We could get rid of this that right there. The 3 body malfunctions, 92. That is unnecessary. If you look at copy, a lot of times you could just throw out that like 60, 70% of the time. You don't need that a lot of the time, and it just makes your writing more wordy unnecessarily. So this could be more specific to and connected to a more clear pain point: the 3 body malfunctions. That could be literally anything. Like, do you have diarrhea? That's a body malfunction. What do you have, like arthritis? That's, you know what I mean? So that could be improved. I'm not gonna like say exactly how every little thing can, like, an alternative, but generally speaking, this could be more specific, and you could tie the lead magnet with the name of this to the actual pain point that they have, that your ICA has. Always be specific. Specificity is everything. So in it, you'll learn about 3 secret killer body misalignments that cause major health problems and even cognition issues down the line. So this is a little too dramatic. I think the salesman in me um, wanting to shine here. It's a little much. I think this is kind of more old school. These are people you're talking to, and this is a little too dramatic. And I think I said parentheses here. I meant quotations. You don't need secret killer quotations. It's a bit too much. It's a bit much. Uh, Even cognition is a little fear mongery. A little fear mongery. If you're gonna do that, you got to know your niche. So if you're writing for a client and you're just right out the gate like hitting the fear button a lot, to the point where you're jamming it, I would say in 2025 that might not be as effective as it was, 20 years ago, especially if you're talking to a younger demographic. The skepticism will shoot up if you come at people like that. So it's really important if you're gonna decide to be a little more fear based with your copy like that, you have to approach that cautiously. And I would argue it's not the most effective way to write copy, anyways. Uh, you want to help people at the end of the day. You don't want to make them scared. But it's like a little spice. You use it here and there, but too much of it and right out the gate, yeah, might be a little much. Could be better to lead with value, with a problem you solve, and like a little curiosity, like what's behind the curtain. But be careful with fear. All right. There are things I've learned from working in the health field for over 20 years. Stuff that I usually tell my clients that pay to see me in person. Okay, stuff is not specific. Stuff that doesn't really sound professional. Um, yeah. Um, and there could be a line break right here, to make it stand out. It's like too much. But you see, about a year ago, I realized that there's a cap to helping people with one-on-one coaching. Okay, like I get the concept here. Um, you know, but this right here is kind of unnecessary. Like, but you see, this isn't like a 14-page sales letter. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those words, but that's kind of extra. You could just make it, more of a story, like about a year ago, and you can get a little more specific about when. That makes it more real. About a year ago. If you could say, 11 months ago, if you can make this more of a story, I think it'll, hit harder. Like I was working with Bob, one of my patients, and, I had 17 people in the waiting room, and I was, you know, nervously working on this dude. But then when I worked on this next patient, I realized I made mistakes, whatever. Point is, there's an opportunity for storytelling here, even if it's just a few sentences, rather than being like, but you see, about a year ago, I realized. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. The scale of distributing expert information online, on the other hand, meant I could help more than just 30 clients a day. Again, the logic here is solid, I think. It's not bad. Nothing wrong with that, right? But you can tie this into the story. The scale of distributing expert information online. Okay, that just sucks. Who the fuck talks like that? Just write like you talk. Write like a person, like you're talking to a friend, you know? Not so casual that, they can't follow or that it's hard to follow, but I mean, that no one says that. This would you say that to someone? The scale of distributing expert information online. When you look at your copy, you could when you write your first draft or even when you think you're done, this is the point where you say, can I reduce like cut this copy down by 10 to 20%. And you do that with every email you write. So with this one specifically, that's where this would go away. The scale of distributing expert information. It's a bit much. A few dozens a day compared to thousands. Okay. That's why I wrote a book that takes this information I'm giving you for free to the next level. CTA here might be a little too early. You could kind of, I could have, like built a little more curiosity here rather than just be like, here, click now. Because then they might click and be like, I don't want to buy this. And this email sucked up until this point. Um, it includes everything I've learned over the years to fix health problems that arise in your joints, gut, and skin by teaching you science-backed methods to self-diagnose and solve. Yeah, everything is a bit, I keep saying that, a bit much, a bit much. I feel like it makes sense. Kind of can get the point, but everything, it's over the top, right? Everything, like, okay, all right. When you use caps, I mean, that has its place, but, could have used a different word and not used all caps. I've learned over the years, okay, you got to be specific there to fix health problems that arise in your joint. Again, this is like a little too formal. By teaching you science-backed methods, needs to be specific here. And this right here, I think up until this point, the format hasn't been terrible, like the structure, but though it's really the writing needed work. Um, but this specifically is a structural thing that could have been implemented, and that is you need to be the unique mechanism could have been put right here, right? Specifically saying like what the way that you deliver the service or the product that varies that is unique to you and different than any other competitors out there. So science-backed methods is a little vague and anyone can just say that. As a bonus, I also included a step-by-step method to cleaning your gut health so you can easily melt fat, have more energy, and increase mental clarity. Okay. So, yeah. We're putting too much. We're putting too much in the email right now. This could be better off. This would be better off in the PS line. I think it's more effective, and I have to relearn this a lot of the time, to be honest with you, because we're so excited to put all the things that make our product different and all the, but it's better to focus on one benefit, one key benefit, one big idea, one solution that you provide, one problem that you solve versus like stuffing, right? It's like too much of anything is bad, and if you hit someone with too many benefits, they're probably going to be like if the bonuses almost overshadow the main benefits of the product of this book, that the things that they get out of it, then they're going to get a little skeptical and be like, all right, like what am I really paying for here? And this is almost too much. Yeah, have you ever been in that? Maybe you've been in that position before where someone has like, they're selling you a product, but in the in the bonus section of the sales page or whatever, they have like 19 bonuses, and you're like, what the fuck am I even paying for at this point? Am I paying for the bonuses? I wanted that thing up there. If he just focused on that, maybe, included one bonus or none, I still would have bought it. But now I'm like, why is this person including so many bonuses? It is lowering the perceived value of what you are selling. All right. So ultimately, you'll develop a healthier, more conscious relationship with your body rather than run to the doctor for any small issue that arises. You'll learn to listen and be in harmony with your body. It's like being your own mechanic for your car. I mean, this just needs fixing all around. This needs to be spread out. And also shortened. The simile at the end could work. However, it needs to be rewritten. This entire portion needs to be rewritten. But we'll just say that. So this book has already been digested by over. Okay, guys. Yeah, the passive voice. It's too passive, right? What that has already been digested by over. Oof. So 16,000 people, you know, I don't know, like, yeah, this could just be cut out entirely. And you could just say something like, this book is rated 4.9 and a half stars by, 16,000 people. And you can even, if you really wanted to, you can like say, this person says this person says that, without risking like making your email a sales page, which I've seen a lot of people do. But this in particular, this is like one of those things that you just have to like retrain your brain to not write like this. Okay. I feel like school was the worst teacher for writing. Like school doesn't, I mean, unless you have someone who's like a teacher that's like a really good writer, you don't really learn how to write in like school unless you're like maybe majoring in college in English or something. But there's just a few things you can do, and one of them is writing in an active voice. And there's actually apps out there now like Hemingway, that like do it for you, or like highlight it so you learn how to write in an active voice. But yeah, so this is like the proof element. Aside from the writing, this is the proof element of the email, right? But yeah, could be rewritten. Needs. That's a could be rewritten. Passive. Needs to be rewritten. I will rewrite this. Active. All right, this is a fucking English lesson 101, writing lesson 101. Yeah. So you can snag a copy today for only $19 plus free shipping. You don't need you can too many words. I've been told by a few friends who are smarter than I am in business to change the price to what it's actually worth. So I'm raising it to $39 in 2 weeks. That is salesmanship right there, guys. You could that is, but that's too much. That's kind of funny in my eyes reading it now. You could just say, I'm raising the price. This is like a limited thing. I'm raising the price. Boom. There's your urgency. I've been told by a few friends that reminds me of like people selling mattresses, or selling cars, and the salesman's like creating that narrative. Let me go talk to my manager. Sales, copywriting is really all salesmanship. However, you know, don't overdo it with your narratives like this, in my opinion. Grab your copy before your price goes up to health and power. Hell yeah. James. P.S. To make sure you receive my newsletter packed with tips and resources on bridging the gap between your mind and body for a healthy life. It's too much. Be sure to whitelist this address. Okay, this could be its own email thing. This part is just about whitelisting, or moving it out of promotions, or replying, because you're gonna want to have like an automation set up there for when people sign up to your newsletter or to your list, just to ensure that you don't end up in spam. Okay, you can have that, and then boom, you can have a second email. But putting it all in one might be a little much. So, and if you decide you don't want the value packed in these emails backed by 2 decades of experience, you can unsubscribe here. This is the unsubscribe thing. I gave a little note here. Okay, bro, 2 decades of experience, bit much, little over the top. You can just say, if you don't like these emails, I'll be sad. Or here, you can unsubscribe if you want out. I make it very easy. That's it. So this video, this email wasn't too long, but it's actually a very short email, but I showed off my self-criticism here. You learn a lot in a year and a half and 2 years, however long it's been. And I didn't think I'd roast my own email today, but I saw this randomly looking for a portfolio piece. So I was like, yeah, why don't we break this down? And it's actually pretty cool to see the progress you can make as long as you're consistent. So if you're working on writing your own emails, or if you want to hire someone that writes, you know, copywriting, and like the structural elements of your copy, like the persuasive like the mechanisms, right? The proof, the scarcity, whatever, the unique mechanism, the hook, the storytelling, all of that is its own thing, right? The every email needs to have those elements to some degree if you're selling something, but also just the writing itself. Boring writing versus writing that keeps you engaged, that puts your readers on the slippery slide, that's equally as important. So there's those two elements, like the influence principles, the salesmanship, the empathy, and then there's the writing. So you need both of those for good emails that effectively sell your products. All right, that's it for today. I will see you here mañana. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.